Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of goatees and knife fights. Vice Admiral Eric is here and ready for shock troops in leather, because who doesn't like shock troops in leather? Captain Hawk, wait. He is not here. I think his holomatrix failed. That's right. No holomatrix. He is not here tonight. And Commander MC is here, and let's face it, already has the whole black eyeliner mirror look going. So, you know, you'd fit in perfectly. Good operative.
Yeah, I wasn't actually wearing makeup today, and then I saw the outline, and so I was like, crap, I gotta go put on makeup.
I put an amazing screenshot where Hawk would have been on screen. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Welcome back, guys. How we doing? How goes it? How goes life?
I mean, it
goes.
It's going. It's been a week. I will say that much. Yeah. I would like to go get a little bit of my mirror universe on if it was up to me, because it's been that kind of week. But that's okay. That's all right. Everybody has those kind of weeks. Happy to be here. What's up, YouTube chat? There will be very minimal Tuvix chat in this episode.
No, there won't. There'll be lots of Tuvix chat.
If you're wondering where Draft is, she has actually earned a much needed break. She's going to be off for the next few weeks, but she'll be back for the Lower Decks premiere. So you have that to look forward to. And speaking of this week, what is going on? Well, get in. We're going to the mirror universe, bitches. We've got Okana. We've got Tuvix and the Enterprisians. We've got Mirror, Janeway, and Chakotay being super hot. Yeah, thumbs up. That's right, Zoom. Basically, it's just it's a party. It's our review of episode 214 of Star Trek Prodigy, Cracked Mirror. But first, before we get into that and all the fun that was this episode, we're down, people. Eric's still recovering from things. I'm gonna do the patrons because I don't do them a lot. It's my turn. I'm gonna do them. So here we go. A big thank you to our patrons at the Ready Room level above: Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kang Hui, Takako Nagumo, Fernando Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie, B. Teller Right, not Teller Wrong, Maggie Light, Tyrannikilicus, Wayne Ritz, Skonavark, Sean, J. Howard, Anna Yerdadon, Mehalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Davey Willett, Tara Poland, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, Joshua Miller, Aaron W., Lanky Guy, Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, Meredith, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, Sedano 317, Puka Hair, 3 Fry Short, Cat Tip, Tripping the Read Alert, that's a pineapple noise, Tripping the Read Alert over a pineapple, Sean Manning, Asher CBF, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, Norman Buckwall, David Prime Hildebrand, Taryn J. Robinson, Rod Griner, Eric the Red, Trouble, Jamie Roberts, Honeyberry, Paul Taylor Pitt, and Brett Jones. Y'all rock.
I was going to say only pineapples in Canada speak. I think MC understands that.
I do.
I don't get it. Please enlighten me.
No, it's okay.
Telefrancais.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Oh, anana. Oh, do I have to look this up on YouTube later?
That means pineapple in French.
Yeah, no, it was a educational program they would show you in school to learn French.
Well,
and so that the teachers could go and have a drink.
Exactly.
Oh, cheers to teachers. Yes, I'm going to cheers them.
And always, a big thank you to our Badmirals, REPs, Simon Stager, Commander Chris Waterman, Tara Poland, and Brett Jones.
Whoop, whoop.
Wait.
Stuff.
Do you have the sound?
It's your turn. No, you were going to do it. I'm letting you do it this time.
Wait.
I have it. I'm ready.
Wait.
Did
you hear that?
That was very
really
pathetic.
Was that loud? Mine was very loud too. Hey.
Oh, it was very not on
your
one.
side.
It sounded like Doink the Clown a little bit.
I tried not to make it so loud.
Okay. Apologies. Hello, Tara. Welcome to the chat.
We're just gonna press all the sound effects right now for you, Tara.
Yep, all of them. I like this one, like crickets. If somebody says something awkward, you know.
I also have
Those
this
are
one.
fun.
This one, right?
Red alarm. Red alarm. Red alarm.
Can you hear that?
Red alarm. a
Red
little bit.
alarm. It was very
Red
loud.
alarm. Let's get to some quick news because there's not a lot. NYCC, they released or Paramount told us what NYCC is doing at the Empire Stage, New York Comic Con. It's going to be Lower Decks, Section 31, and a few surprises. Reed Pop did not give us a badge this year, and I'm probably forfeiting us ever getting another one by saying this, but they screwed over a bunch of other people this year as well. Not cool, Reed Pop. But because it's what we do, we are still going to cover all of New York Comic Con. We'll have our post show like we always do, giving you everything that came out of New York Comic Con. Yeah, but unfortunately, we'll be getting the news kind of as you get it, unless we get some press releases from Paramount, which we do get from time to time. So look for that pod. Either we're still debating when it's going to be, either Sunday the 20th or Monday the 21st of October. So that'll be a live bonus pod. I don't think we have any other news.
We do.
We do.
We do?
Yeah.
I love it.
You can turn that off in Zoom.
I tried. It wouldn't let me.
We don't normally promote other things, but there is Star Trek family news. Like one of the writers of Prodigy has a movie coming out this weekend, right?
Oh,
Right?
yes. Yes.
You saw it already.
I did. It's Transformers 1. It's amazing. It is freaking fantastic. Oh my God. Is that Optimus or is that
Optimus.
Is
This
that,
is the
it's
blue
Optimus.
eyes. Yeah.
The blue
I don't have the
eyes,
lights
yeah.
on for it, but it will be there.
Nice.
Maybe I'll send that to Aaron. Maybe we'll just give it to him.
Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And you should go see it because it's a good Transformers origin story. And yeah, who wrote it? I forget who wrote it.
Aaron.
I'll edit that out. Aaron co-wrote Transformers 1?
Didn't Aaron walk you right there?
Am I an idiot? I watched I'm going to make sure that I'm not a damn fool and feel like a doofus. Sorry, chat. I want to know now. I don't think so, man.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Watkey was hired to develop the story and script for the forthcoming feature film Transformers 1, a prequel film to the Transformers franchise.
He must not have gotten a credit. Boo! Well, you had a bit to do with it, so that's still... yeah, there it is. You're actually kind of right, Tara. Well, if he had a hand in helping, then that means that like a portion of this is his, even though he didn't get a credit.
Yeah.
So good job, Aaron. I loved the movie. It was fantastic. My son loved it. I was saying to these guys off mic that like I went on a dude date with my son and he dropped like a ton of Transformers knowledge on me after the movie, and I was like, proud papa moment. It was glorious.
If we want to connect it to Star Trek, it's starring George Kirk, and that's what Kelvin reference.
There you go, Chris
Fair.
Hemsworth. Yep, fair. Scarlett Johansson's very good in the movie as well. By the way, got a little bit of an Avengers reunion in that film. So, anything else besides heroes and villains? Good.
I think we're good.
I will say, I think today is the last day to get Indiana Jones gear from Heroes and Villains. I got an email about it. So if you were sitting on that, some of it's actually really cool. 20% off your first order using our code STRANGE. Go heroesandvillains.com. They rock. They make good gear.
So are they putting all of their Indiana Jones stuff in that big like warehouse?
They are putting it in the warehouse. Yep. Never to be seen ever again. Yep. Until it gets nuked in Indiana 4, right? It's the
it was 4.
The aliens one. Yes.
Yeah.
That one. Yep. I always forget that Thor has a Star Trek connection. Jim writes. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Cool. We are moving right along then into. I have to get to the right page now. The Strange New Loop. So we've talked about this before on the show. The Mirror Universe been a bit of a staple of new Trek since it debuted in season 1 of Star Trek Discovery in 2017. It showed up in almost every season of Disco after that. Yeah. It gets a little nod in Lower Decks. Where else? Strange New Worlds, not really.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They
Picard
keep teasing it.
goes to like the Confederation, which I think they were like, we can't do the mirror universe because it's been done so much, so we'll do the mirror universe and call it the Confederation. But that was basically the mirror universe. And now here in Prodigy, all hail the Empire, Gem Rights. That's right, terra firma. By the way, I'm going to give a shout out before we get any more into the pod to Bonnie Gordon. She's amazing, and she has these shirts available. They are
That's
amazing.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening to this later, it says even the whales are evil, and it's got the Terran Empire logo on it.
And it's red, and it's gorgeous, and you should get one at, I believe, bonniegordon.com. So, or if you're at a convention and she has a table, she sells them at her tables. So it's Gene.
Go do that, because then you get to talk to Bonnie Gordon, and that's always amazing.
Yep. And you're also supporting her, so give her your money. So yeah, it's been all over New Trek. And I want to ask you guys, is there a different Trek alternate universe? No MCU, cannot say the Kelvin verse. No,
I was going to say, do I even need to answer this question?
The Trek alternate universe that you'd like to explore could be big, small, in an episode of Star Trek. Eric, I saw your hand go up like immediately.
I would like to go visit the Kelvin verse. 100%. I want to see where the Kelvin verse is at this point. Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I think that we might have done a podcast about that about 2 years ago, where we talked about where the TNG universe would be in the Kelvin, where TNG would be in the Kelvin verse, and it was awesome. Yeah.
That's wild. 2 years. Good Lord. Yeah. People liking the Kelvin verse answer.
Damn straight.
I assume that's both of your answers?
No, I mean, because like everybody expects that to be my answer, but I mean, there's so many like cool like alternate Star Trek universes. Like, I mean, like yesterday's Enterprise. Like, come on, like let's go look at the yesterday's Enterprise universe. Like, because I mean, I know it's like this weird kind of bubble universe, and like they did fix everything, but as we've learned, like that does not fix things. Like you can't
branch off.
They branch off, yeah. So it might have like fixed the Prime universe, but it still exists out there. So like, what happened? Like during the, I mean, I feel like the Enterprise was probably destroyed. So like, what happened after that?
Yeah. I like it. Kind of going along that line, Jim McMahon wrote, the universe where Riker captained the Enterprise with Worf is his number one, and Wesley's in Worf's position would be great to explore. I believe that was in the episode Parallels.
I almost said that one too.
Which I love that one. Great. I'm going to keep going with the Parallels and say I'd really like to explore. I believe, it is Parallels. Or was it Parallels or All Good Things? I actually forget. I think it is Parallels. The universe where the Borg won at Wolf 359 and Riker is like, disheveled, and like I think one of the last remaining Starfleet vessels, like the Enterprise, I think actually just like self-destructs at that point. They
try to fire on them.
They tried to do a warp core breach to destroy all the damn thumbs up. It won't go away. It's okay. I want to explore that universe, because I'd like to imagine that somewhere there is like a guerrilla warfare team, like trying to build like one last ditch effort to take the Borg. But it would also be really cool to explore a universe where the Borg won, and it is like the Borg. They have taken over the universe. I think and I know people are like, oh my God, I'm so sick of the Borg. If it's a good Borg story, I'm here for it, and I feel like that would be a good Borg story.
I mean, you could also like get into that with like First Contact. I think like when they stop First Contact and just take over like all of Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, they actually in the Coda trilogy books go to that Earth as if the Borg won. It was really cool.
I need to read that series because you keep on mentioning it.
I know. You should. You really should.
I mean, it'd be cool.
I mean, I've read about it. I just have not read it.
Yeah.
I've read the wiki.
I've read the wiki.
I think
Memory Alpha.
I think the Tapestry universe would be neat, where Picard never becomes captain. I think that would be really interesting.
Oh yeah, the one where he's like a junior officer.
Yeah.
Picard lower decks.
Oh my God, yeah.
There is no buffer time.
Oh man, no, good answers. Good answers. I like it. Any others in the chat? Dana was excited about the Kelvin verse. Bones, but Billy Butcher style. Yeah, I like it. Man, cool. Well, let's get on with this pod. It is our review of Cracked Mirror from Star Trek Prodigy. Our order tonight will go Eric, MC, followed by myself. Not the reunion we were hoping for to start this episode. It begins with the Protostar dropping out of Proto Warp for their long-awaited reunion with Voyager. Chakotay's all snazzed up. He's got his uniform back on, his hair slicked back, the old man Logan beard is gone. His pips are a little bit too far apart, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, and he's all cleaned up and ready for his reunion with Catherine. So they transport aboard Voyager. The Doctor reunion. The Doctor greets the crew and Chakotay with open arms. But when the Admiral walks into the transporter room, it's not Janeway who greets them, but a Jellicoe. Just a Jellicoe walking around running things. What were your first thoughts when Jellicoe came out and said Janeway gave her life aboard Infinity trying to rescue Chakotay? Eric.
Well, before that, I love that Dal was ribbing Chakotay for a...
He was.
meeting Jane, the Admiral.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
That's so funny. I like their relationship a lot. And he's getting less douchey, which I love. It was super surprising seeing Jellicoe show up, and you're like, oh fuck, that means they fired Janeway because of blah blah blah. And then to find out that she had actually died in the whole, rescue attempt, like, it was cool. It's like, oh well, things are happening.
Here we go. I like it. MC?
I mean, we're probably going to bring this up a lot in this episode, but this may be the most JC forward episode since that one with the monkey and
the bathtub.
Chakotay building the bathtub back on Voyager. Because, I mean, like, this one is heavy JC. And because, we're making jokes about, like, a quote-unquote reunion. Dahl was doing that, and it was just amazing.
It wasn't even subtle on his part.
It was not at all.
Right? No. No.
And yeah, the having Jellicoe come out, I mean, I didn't even think of it as being as like, oh, well, Janeway got in trouble. I was mostly just like, oh my God, what's going on? And then when it's, Janeway, died in the attempt to save him, then I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of immediately knew that, well, I mean, there is a problem with this episode, and that is the title. I am just going to say that just up front.
Oh, okay.
I do not like the title of this episode because, I mean, as soon as, you see Cracked Mirror and it's like, oh, because this could be a Mirror Universe episode. And so as soon as Jellicoe comes in and it's like, oh, Janeway died, I was like, okay, so they're going to do they're going to go through several universes and it's going to end up being Mirror Universe. Which I love the concept of, because, I've loved every time they've done that concept. And they do it very well here. But I was just kind of disappointed that they could have just called the episode Cracked. And I think you would have at least hidden it a little bit and it would have had the same effect.
Well, and I feel like Deep Space Nine got creative with their Mirror Universe episode titles. Like they had Through the Looking Glass, I think was a name of one. It's like you don't have to put mirror in the title of every Mirror Universe episode. I mean, even Strange New Worlds did it, and it wasn't actually the Mirror Universe. I think that one was Broken Mirror, wasn't it? Or something like that. Not Strange New Worlds. I'm sorry, Discovery in season 5.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. Yeah. I actually got in trouble this morning or this afternoon for not putting a JC option in the to pull from the Duras sisters. It was like, where's the JC option? So I gave JC some love for our weekly Prodigy is Gorgeous post. So I hope everybody appreciates that. No. As a fellow JC shipper, I was like, here we go. It's taken 4 years to finally get here. Actually, more than that if you're an OG Voyager fan. So finally gonna eat. And then Jellicoe walks and I'm like, this motherfucker and his pips and him just doing his Jellicoe thing. And now I'm mad. And then, I was like, Eric, shit's gonna go down. This is not good. And Chakotay's Chakotay's not going to get his booty call, and it's going to be bad for people. So I was a little mad, and I was also like, I think I had a literal like, oh shit moment when I first saw this. So it was a cool way to open the episode. I liked it. So aptly titled because of the TNG episode Parallels. I believe this episode also references Shattered from Voyager, and I believe that is brought up in our mailbag later. So to follow up on all that, we know that time travel, alternate universes, they're just like a major part of Star Trek Prodigy, and basically the entire premise of this season. What do we think about exploring, like these other alternate timelines? They're kind of, and it's one of those episodes where they're alternate timelines locked in one location yet again. So that included one where the kids weren't able to stop the Volnicott weapon from destroying the Federation completely. And you have like Okana, scrapping the ship to sell on the black market. One where I can't say the words. Tuvix is captain of Voyager with an enterprising crew.
That's amazing.
It's awful. What
Amazing.
You didn't have to see him.
Yeah, thankfully.
I wish.
No BS. It would have been pretty cool to see it. What did we think about this concept, Eric?
To be honest, I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Like when you first get to the first one, and then you see that Rock and Zero on a different Enterprise. I thought that was so cool, and I expected like every level to be a different one. And then we got like Multiverse of Madness, where you only get to see like 2 or 3. I was like, oh man, that was disappointing. But I thought it was neat that they introduced 2 different options. If 3, I guess technically, but Mirrorverse is just something we've seen before.
The Mirrorverse is cool, and we're going to talk about this because the mirror universe that we see in this is actually an alternate version of the mirror universe. Because if you remember in DS9, by this point in time, the Terran universe has fallen. The Terran Empire has fallen.
Well, I mean, I will argue about that. Janeway actually does have a line about the new Terran Empire.
Oh, okay. So maybe.
Yeah, I assume it was rebuilding.
Yeah, because I mean,
back to evil ways.
Yeah, and the last time we saw them, which I believe was in the Emperor's New Cloak, the Terran rebels had kind of toppled I forget what the other group was called.
It was the Cardassian Klingon Union or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been a couple years since then, so it doesn't surprise me that basically the Terran Empire has just gone directly back to the way they were before.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this isn't an alternate timeline, but still, it is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
That was it.
Cool. MC.
I mean, I said this off mic. This is my favorite Mirror Universe episode. Like, I mean, except for maybe the first one, because the first one you kind of can't beat because it was the prototype. But I'm not like a huge Mirror Universe fan. Meanwhile, I thought that this one worked very well. Especially, I felt like there was some more playing upon emotions in a way that they haven't really done since they had like the episode where Jake went to the Mirror Universe and was like with his mom. Because I've always felt like there was diminishing returns in terms of the Mirror Universe. But they dropped like this nugget of, Captain Tuvix and the Enterprisians, and we see it for like a split second. And like, 2 members of their team are there, and we just see it for a second. And I kind of wish that we had been able to get a little bit more, because I mean, unfortunately, one of the things with the Mirror Universe is the big selling point is, oh, everybody's evil. And granted, I do love seeing Jillian the Whale as evil, and the line is great. But I mean, you could have taken out some of the Mirror Universe stuff and maybe given it to the Enterprisians to just have some more time in like either that parallel universe or another one. I did like seeing the one with Okona, because that is something that is directly influenced by what our kids did. So, and also, I like that Star Trek is now willing to recognize how much of a fool Okona is. Because, I mean, if you actually watch Outrageous Okona, like, the biggest problem with that episode is that people are treating, he's like the perfect Gary Stu, because like everybody is like, oh, this guy who plays by his own rules. And it's like, dude, he's basically Fry from Futurama. He is like a he is a messenger boy, and he's really pathetic. But you know, he gets to sleep with Terry Hatcher, and you know, even Riker's just like, he's a guy that plays by his own rules. And it's like, no, he's not cool. and I feel like finally with Prodigy, they're like, do you know what, you're right, you know, Okona's not cool, and he's
still cool enough in Lower Decks to DJ the freaking like Admiral's party. Like,
I mean, con man's got a con.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, that does feel like, because I mean, you could be cool, but also not cool, because I mean, being a DJ, like, seriously, like,
A 60-year-old DJ?
DJs right now?
A 60-year-old DJ?
What's wrong? Come on. Listen, I just watched literally like 60-year-old punks on stage last night at my work. So I mean, you're still cool at 60.
One of my favorite cousins is a DJ, so I'm like poking it.
Gene goes, not all DJs are cool. That's true.
I love Gene.
Were you done? Sorry.
I'm good.
Okay. Oh man. So there's some great comments in the chat as well. Mars goes, what did he have to do to become captain? Airlock Janeway? I mean, that would have actually been a very funny reversal. Tara writes, I was relieved that Tuvix was only a name drop because I would not have wanted to see him. Great idea, though. And going back to the Terran Empire thing, Jim writes, different factions of Terrans could be doing different things with different end games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So even the whales are evil, like MC said, in the Terran universe. Chakotay comes up with a plan, having found out that they're going through alternate timelines, saying, he's been through this before with the whole wrong quantum reality on more than one occasion aboard Voyager. There's a lot of technobabble, but it's all settled on using, I guess, the deflector dish to lock on to the correct quantum reality, which the deflector dish is always a good, sure. When Okada transports them, though, they wind up in the mirror universe, and a version where, I guess, and we were debating whether this is a version where the Terran Empire never fell or just they went back to their evil ways because that's what they do. Terran's gonna Terran. What was your first reaction when you saw Janeway and Chakotay with daggers and black leather? And Janeway had Seven's optical implant. Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed. I saw the optical implant. I was like, oh, damn. Mirror Janeway did something to Seven. I thought that was really cool. And I really like whenever Prodigy takes on something from the live action shows. And I don't think we haven't seen any mirror stuff. Like, we just saw Tribbles and they did a cool iteration of them. So I was really looking forward to see what they do with the mirror universe.
Yeah. MC?
Okay, so just in terms of like this mirror universe, maybe different factions are doing different things. I've been just in these last few minutes cooking up things in my mind. What if Voyager, instead of getting lost in the Delta Quadrant, Janeway and Chakotay were sent there to conquer the Delta Quadrant?
Oh, I like it.
Yes, and that is why they are so badass. And okay, so when I saw them for the first time, seeing Janeway made me Jane gay. I've been noticing that this season. It's like the Women Loving Women fans are eating so well when it comes to Janeway because they are just making her so hot.
She had that whole rogue hair and then the streak there, and I was like, oh, yeah. That's awesome.
She could have totally been wearing a black leather jacket too, right?
Mm-hmm. That would have been but yeah. I now have that on my list of cosplays to do, and it's actually been moved way up the list because I think I could rock it, and I think it could be something that could work out really well. This scene with them, because I mean, this isn't like it's a family show, but it is still a kid show. They made it so sexy.
They made it so sexy.
And
so sexy.
The way Janeway and Tuvok Chakotay would interact was like, ooh, they are getting it.
Yeah. But I actually really loved it because one of my big problems with, especially when it came to Mirror Universe on Deep Space Nine, is that they went overboard with the sexy so that it became like a parody. Yes. And the same thing really happened in Discovery, where it's just like everybody's nymphomaniacs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they said so much with so little. Like it was it was seriously just like these two are obviously together.
Yep.
And like really together. I could say more, but then we'd get demonetized. But yeah, no, I love this, and I did not. This season made really cemented me as a JC shipper.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Tara writes 7 probably tried to steal Chakotay from her. Just ripped off her optical implant, glued to her face. Oh my god, that's actually really good. I like it.
I feel a dark fanfic coming on.
It's so good. I gotta tell you, I had a little bit of a Peter tingle when Janeway, Mirror Chakotay's about to put one of them in the agonizer booth, and she goes I love how much you like to agonize, and does the chin scratch. I was like, give. That was hot with a W and an A and a T.
There's a reason why that's
an H.
That's why there's the screen grab on the screen right now. That's what it is. Is her doing that?
I see that, and it's yes. I loved this. I loved that they used the TNG comic uniforms for the Mirror Universe, which is nice continuity. Very cool.
Even if that isn't.
Yeah, even if that isn't now it is, which is cool. Yeah.
I think there's 5 different versions of the TNG Mirror Universe.
Yes, true. The Cerritos is equally horny in every universe, Gene writes. Not
I
wrong.
mean, this is very true.
Yeah. So yeah, going to that scene where Mirror Chakotay tries to torture Murph, but that ends up being a big mistake because we know that Murph is Section 31. The crew escape. As they're running to the bridge, they run into Mirror Janeway. Does not buy for 1 second that the oil goatee is actually her Chakotay. Listen, Mirror Chakotay gives off very different vibes than vanilla Chakotay. Yep. So she just right on kill starts shooting at them. I have to go back to what you guys said, family show, but they did a lot with very little, right? They turned on an agonizer booth. I mean, your imagination could do the rest. Who knows who they have in other agonizer booths too, right? Definitely Tuvix.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty predictable when it comes to Tuvix. A fight ensues. Jillian the Whale is also evil, which is just amazing. Jankum tries to flood all of them, which is a great move. They all wind up on the bridge of Voyager, where Mirror Janeway reluctantly works on the map. Chakotay gives a very in any universe I would never be able to hurt you, and I'm like, oh, cheesiest line, but also and so Mirror Janeway goes all badass because the Loom have showed up because Gwyn's in 1,000 different wrong universes, and she gets them off her ship with phasers and good stuff. They hit the deflector as the Loom are about to do the whole freeze time thing. What do we think about the whole Mirror Voyager chase through the ship and climax of this episode, Eric?
The Murph fight was the only thing that was, I was that was very Looney Tunes. And it was the only thing I was oh, okay. But, I love Murph and all, so whatever. I love that vanilla Chakotay to be gruffer, to be his mirror self. All he does is he lowers his voice and sort of gets raspy, but he doesn't really change his attitude. He just
I like
goes
that
all
he had to
raspy.
trick the computer using the voice too, because
Yeah.
I guess the computer picks up like Terran voice
Yeah.
patterns.
So, computer. I was like, oh man, Vanilla Chakotay is very funny. Jillian the Whale, like I'm with Jim on this. I want to know how Jillian got the scar, like the battle scar from.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Exactly, exactly. But I love that everyone is evil. It would have been nice to see other people. I would have loved to see like an evil doctor on there too. Like, like we got a couple people, but you only have so much time. They couldn't even show Captain Tuvix. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I thought it was all very fun. The ending was very predictable, but Chakotay doing his thing was very cute. The loom coming in, I didn't really expect it, to be honest. I just assumed they were trying to fix the mirror thing, but it makes sense that they're causing paradoxes in every single universe they go in, and I thought that was cool. And then teleporting everyone back, I guess that's the end, right? We'll talk about that next.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
talk
go
about
back.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fun. Yeah.
MC?
The Murph thing, I liked the Murph thing, if only because I liked Chakotay's never trust the cute ones.
I like that too.
I mean, that was very cute.
It's true.
And the Mira Janeway ending up trusting Vanilla Chakotay, which is I guess what we're calling him now, which works for me. It is very much a shipper moment, but I mean, it is also does speak to like the depravity of the mirror universe, where she's just like, now I have to.
Yeah.
I do want to know how Jillian the Whale got those scars. That does, I didn't even think of that until now. The whole ending, I mean, having the loom come in, it totally makes sense because like Wesley did basically say that it was happening to all dimensions, if I recall correctly, and like the other travelers are in other dimensions trying to fix it. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't know. It's been several episodes since that one. But it makes sense because like they cracked holes into reality. So of course these things are going to be able to slip through. Again, I like the look of them. I do have to wonder what happens, like everybody gets like teleported back to their universe, but what happens to the mirror universe? Like, is the mirror universe just screwed?
No, because I think the loom, and the way that Wesley put it too, I think the loom are only after the paradox, which is still specifically Gwyn, right? So they have no business or no quarrel, if you want to go Shakespeare, with like they have no quarrel, sir, with Janeway.
Well, I mean, like they went after the away team, like when the away team was nowhere near Gwen. I think like,
but I think it's only because Gwyn was on the planet and that they were trying to get in the way of their target.
I thought the loom was trying to destroy everything, like because the entire Prime universe is a paradox, not just Gwen.
Well, right, good point.
But wouldn't they, once they left the mirror universe, just go straight to the Prime universe? Because that's
Because
the main
that is true.
Yeah, timey-wimey stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thought. I like it.
I mean, I could also see Mira Janeway just being able to tame one of those loom things because I'm sorry, Mira Janeway can
she's
do
totally got one
whatever
as
she
a pet.
wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Mira Janeway, I went really dark continuing on with your theory that you came up with earlier, MC. What if they actually were on a similar mission, but they were going after like, rebel sympathizers, like they were going after Chakotay in the Prime universe, but the caretaker thing happened. But instead of blaming it on the caretaker, Mira Janeway blamed it on Jillian because we know that Station Ops does like coordinates and actually gave Jillian the scar. That's super dark, but like you could see evil Janeway doing it.
I mean, Mira Janeway absolutely did not get stuck in the Delta Quadrant. Like it had to be voluntary because that she would not have helped. She wouldn't have been enslaving the Ocampans. Like she wouldn't have blown up the array to help them.
No, good point.
One other thing that I wanted to mention in terms of the mirror universe, and this is something that I feel has been missing since the very early Deep Space Nine episodes. I want to see a evil character be good in the mirror universe, because we got that in, I believe, the second mirror universe episode of Deep Space Nine, where we saw like good Brunt.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, yep, yeah.
I can't remember. No, it was actually the last one that we saw good.
Was it the last one?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen them.
It has been a while. Yeah, no, I just remember because he was in love with Ezri.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, also I know I already had my Kelvinverse reference, but in the Kelvinverse comics, when they do the mirror universe, they have good Khan, and he's basically a space hippie.
Yeah, that does
like
not
with
shock me.
this long hair and like bare feet, and it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I really miss the mirror universe doing that, because it's always like, oh, everything is evil, and it's like, no, well, I mean, if everything is opposite, then you would have plenty of characters who are still good.
Yeah.
It's just that they're people, like, maybe like they could have had like Seska like in captivity on Voyager, and she's a good guy. I know that would be a deep cut, but yeah. Jim wanted to note that all the Ferengi in the mirror universe were good. They were not like asses, I guess. It has been a while since I've seen those. Oh, Nog wasn't. Okay. Quark was helpful too, as well. I have to watch. It's been so long since I've watched those. They're good. I liked this. I really specifically liked the animation of the loom, like their style and the way that they're drawn and animated in this show, and then like their red color clashing with like the already red colors of the mirror universe made for just like really cool set pieces at the end of the episode. I thought like that really popped for me this episode. I almost said this week. It's like this didn't come out 3 months ago. Yeah, it was just really cool. It just moved by so fast. Like you don't get to the mirror universe till like 11 or 12 minutes into the episode. So it moves so fast once they're there. The Loom are freaking scary. Yes, they are. Like I love their design so much. I think they're one of the coolest looking designs in honestly all of Star Trek. Like they did a really good job making them freaky. So yeah, Gwyn hits the deflector button to get them back home. To which I write, just fucking kiss already. That's the reunion that we wanted. On board the real Voyager, Catherine and Chakotay embrace, and let's just put it to bed, okay? Because Aaron, I think, is also confirmed. Or no, Kate Mulgrew confirmed at a convention in Germany that they are together. So I believe it is canon, but also the way that they embrace on that bridge, like, is more than friends. Like, she puts her hand on his chest, like, on his heart. They're an item. It's a kid show. As much as I would have liked to see a kiss, it's a kid show. They're together. It was beautiful. I got weepy. That's all you need to know. We get our happy ending, and for now, all is right in the world. What do we think about the end? These two, after more than a season and a half and 7 seasons of Voyager, finally having their reunion and the confirmation of the relationship, in my opinion, Eric.
You can kiss on a kid's show.
I know you can, but
I mean, Gwen and Dahl already did.
Truth.
I thought it was really short. I think it was too short for me. Like it was sweet, but I was like, oh, I wish I had a little bit more. But I guess next week's episode, I did like it. I liked seeing them together, and it was nice. It was just a cute little moment. The only thing that would have made it better is if Janeway was like blowing up shit in the background while they were embracing. Right? That would have made it perfect.
Yeah.
No, I agree. MC.
You want more? That's what fan fiction is for.
Hey.
No, this was great. Because I mean, like, you could definitely tell that they were together, because there is the way it's especially the way the kids act. I mean, kids act completely different when they know that two people like each other, but they're not together, than when two people are together. Like that's like that nice little smile between like Dahl and Gwen, where it's just like, oh, look at like Janeway.
It's like
and
when you
Chakotay.
find
like,
out 2 of your teachers are fucking.
Yep. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. two of your favorite teachers.
Two of your
because-
favorite teachers are fucking yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this was adorable. It's so long coming. And yeah, I do wish that there had been a kiss, but yeah, like if you really invested in that, go to AO3.
There you go. Yep. You guys hit it on the head. It was a beautiful moment. I was weepy. I of course wanted more. Whatever. It's fine. I'm here for it. It was good. Final thoughts on this one. We will go in reverse order. MC.
I love this episode. Like I said, I do think that this is one of the best Mirror Universe episodes. I love Shattered and Parallels, this is very much kind of right in the middle of that one, of those two. And J and C Forever.
Hey, love it. Eric.
As much as I like this episode, and I really do like this episode, I sort of wanted to see more universes. They teased it right away, and I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna do what I didn't get to see in any other Marvel movies. Yeah. So yeah, it's still fun. I like it.
Love Multiverse of Madness.
It maybe should have been a two-parter, this one, to be able to explore some more
that would have been
parallel
amazing.
universes.
Yeah, true. I really like this episode. There's one more thing I want to bring up because we didn't really get a chance to talk about it. It's when they're in the ready room and Okana's talking about like what happened and how they couldn't, the Federation's gone. I like how, and I think it was very intentional in the writer's room part, that this was a nod to Discovery and the jump to the future and the burn, because this was basically this timeline and this alternate universe's burn, right? The Federation's gone. Mm-hmm. He's talking about very similar things that did happen in the 31st century, 32nd century. Like, oh, look at your retro Starfleet uniforms. We could sell those for a pretty penny on the black market. That was something that was happening at the mercantiles in the 32nd century. You read about that in Wonderlands, that book that takes place that year that Michael's Without Disco. It's a really nice nod to Discovery, and I really like that. Some people could look at that as a throwaway line, but I immediately not notice that, and that's just again another nod to this amazing writers' room for Prodigy. Fantastic episode. Like I said, the rest of this season are just banger after banger. Subspace to poll. We should do it. And the mailbag. Who wants to take the poll this week?
I can do it.
Hit it.
Don't you normally do a sound?
I do, but I have an outdated one, and I have to put a new one in. I'm behind. Sorry.
Fine. We asked Trek Threads. Treads.
Oh, I like that.
What they thought about Cracked Mirror, and at the time of this episode, this is what they had to say. 62% said here for the evil whales. 24% said Mirror Murph is a vibe. 5% said just stage a mutiny, and 10% said get Tuvixed. Ow.
That 10% is only because there was a Tuvix reference in this episode. Yeah. So
you
I
voted that,
why
didn't
you
you?
got her. I didn't. I don't vote in the poll, but I would have. No. MC, can you the quickest mailbag ever? Can you take Tara's mailbag, please?
Tara wrote JC Forever. That's your best poem.
Yep,
That's your poetry.
Yep. I'll take NYRLites, who wrote Shattered and Parallels are among my two favorite Trek episodes, like MC said. So I love Prodigy blending those concepts together. I wish we had actually interacted with Captain Tuvix.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, which you are, I guess. My question about their mirror universe is that the Terran Empire should have been long since gone by this point in history. So is what we see here a different mirror universe than what we see in TOS and DS9, something we talked about in detail tonight. So I wonder if there's an answer somewhere. I'd love Aaron to maybe talk about that on a social media platform, or maybe on a future episode of the pod.
Or in the chat.
Or in the chat. Sometimes he's lurking.
No.
Maybe. Eric,
Trying to summon him like Beetlejuice.
We've said his name twice. Where's the third time?
Aaron.
Here. Huh? No. No.
Can you take Mars's mailbag,
for
please,
sure.
Eric?
Mars wrote, I really like this episode. There was such a nice Voyager theme nod without it actually being the theme. Yes.
Yes.
Like always, it's just like the Tinsy is so close. Oh, it makes me sad that they can't use it. I love me a I love me a parallel universe situation. A wonderful nod to Shattered. Captain Tuvix with the Enterprisians was not on my bingo card. I did not enjoy having 2 Chakotay's, but I love watching Murph go to town on one of him. Prime Chakotay is thirsty for Janeway in any form. Mirror universe, hologram. But I'm sorry, the coupling of Dal and Gwen bothers me. Like, can the kids just be friends? Besides that, a solid episode.
I do have to say, this episode maybe hinted that they're still a thing a little bit with the way they interacted, but for the most part, this season kind of, I think, forgets that they kissed at the end of season 1. I feel like it's like a non-thing. They focus more on like Zero and Mijel.
Yeah, no, I feel like they kind of pay tribute to or homage to it, but next season, if there is a next season, there's not going to be a thing.
Yeah, agreed. MC, can you take Troubles, please?
Trouble wrote 2 words, Captain Tuvix. The fact the viewers were denied viewing access to this is enough for me to start a petition for more Tuvix screen time in season 3. Mirror Universe Janeway and Chakotay were pretty badass, but we all know Mirror Universe Murph stole the show.
I do love that he's got like the fake goatee and like does like the salute to the and the guards are just like, what the hell? I will send us home with Captain Megs, who wrote, I really loved what Murph did the little beard. Totally wasn't necessary, but it was completely hilarious, along with the line, even the whales are evil, had me cracking up laughing. And that is it for our show. We will be back next week. I want to thank everybody in the YouTube collective for your commentary tonight. It is fantastic as always. I believe next week we are doing the 2-parter for 15 and 16 Ascension parts 1 and 2. We will have our review of that. Anything else? Stay tuned and have a good night. We will see you. For MC, for Eric, I am Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram. The whales are evil. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.